So, Norbert Elias, Shame and Repugnance. Norbert Elias's work was published in the 1930s. He was a German sociologist whose work focused on the study of social processes and the development of societies over long periods of time. He's best known for his theory on the process of civilization, which he elaborated in his famous work, The Civilizing Process, first published in German in 1939 and later translated into several languages. In The Civilizing Process, Elias examines the changes in Western European societies from the Middle Ages to the early modern period, particularly in terms of manners, customs, and social behaviors. He argues that these changes are part of a broader process of civilization, in which societies develop towards higher levels of self-control, social regulation, and sophistication in social interactions. Norbert Elias suggests that the transformation in social behaviors and manners, including changes in table manners, bodily functions, and violence, reflects the broader socio-psychological changes within society. So, Elias's approach is notable for its emphasis on the interdependence of individuals within networks of relationships, which he terms figurations. He challenges the individualistic focus of traditional sociology and highlights the importance of understanding individuals within their social contexts and the long-term development of societies. So his work has influenced various fields, including sociology, history, and anthropology, and has contributed to discussions on power, state formation, sport, and emotions, among other topics. Despite being relatively overlooked during his earlier career, Elias's concepts and theoretical framework have gained significant recognition and continue to be influential in contemporary social science research. In part of his work under the heading Power and Civility, Norbert Elias's concept of power and civility are intricately linked within the broader theory of the civilizing process. These concepts are central to understanding how he interprets the development of Western societies and the behavior of individuals within them. Let's start with power. For Norbert Elias, power is a fundamental aspect of human relationships and societies. And in German, of course, Macht. It is not concentrated in the hands of a few, but is distributed across a network of interdependent relationships, which he refers to as, earlier mentioned, figurations. Power is relational and dynamic. It exists within the connections between individuals and groups, and its distribution changes over time. It's not a static phenomenon. So Elias challenges the perception of power as a static attribute or a commodity that individuals or groups can possess in isolation. Instead, Elias views it as an integral part of social relations that shapes and is shaped by the structure of society. Then for Elias, in his definitions of civility, in Elias's framework, this refers to the social behaviors, manners, and norms that regulate individual actions and interactions within a society. For him, it is a measure of the degree of self-regulation and self-control that individuals exhibit, which is developed and enforced through a socialization process, or rather socialization processes. Norbert Elias argues that the advancement of civility is a key component of the civilizing process, where changes in social norms and behaviors reflect broader psychosociological transformations within societies. So, this includes the regulation of violence, the development of etiquette, and the management of emotional expressions. So, how about the connection between power and civility for Norbert Elias? So, he posits that the civilizing process is driven by shifts in power balances within societies, leading to the establishment of state monopolies on violence and taxation, and the increasing interdependence of individuals. As power becomes more centralized and as individuals become more dependent on each other, social norms and behaviors evolve to reflect the need for self-restraint and consideration of others within society. This evolution towards greater civility is not linear or uniform, but it is influenced by the changing power dynamics and configurations within society. So, for Elias, the link between power and civility is thus essential to understanding how societies develop and how individuals learn to navigate the social world. Power structures and dynamics shape the norms of civility, which in turn guide individual behavior and social interactions. This kind of framework allows Elias to analyze the long-term development of societies and the underlying mechanisms that drive changes in social norms and behaviors. Let me just take a small break. So, Elias's examination of power and civility offers a nuanced understanding of societal development and behavior and human behavior, highlighting the complex interplay between individual actions, social norms, and power dynamics. This perspective has made significant contributions to sociology and related disciplines, offering insights into the processes that govern social change and the development of social order. So, for our reading in our class on Shame and Repugnance, which is a component of the civilizing process, in Norbert Elias's work, within the context of the civilizing process, concepts like shame and repugnance play crucial roles in understanding the development of social norms and behaviors over time. Elias argues that the evolution of societies is accompanied by increasing thresholds of shame and repugnance, which are integral to the civilizing process. These emotional states are not just personal or psychological phenomena, but are deeply embedded in the social fabric and historical processes. Shame for Norbert Elias is a social emotion that arises when there is a perceived risk of social degradation or loss of social esteem. It is a powerful mechanism of social control as individuals internalize social norms and expectations to avoid behaviors that might lead to shame. In the civilizing process, the threshold of shame moves progressively inward, with individuals increasingly regulating their own behaviors, even in the absence of external surveillance. This internalization of social norms is a marker of the advancement of civilization, as it reflects the development of self-control and the management of impulses in accordance with social expectations. Repugnance, on the other hand, for Norbert Elias, or repugnance or disgust, operates alongside shame as a mechanism for delineating acceptable and unacceptable behavior within a society. Over time, as societies civilize, the spectrum of actions and behaviors that evoke repugnance expands. This expansion is indicative of the increasing sensitivity to behaviors that are deemed uncivilized or barbaric. The role of repugnance in the civilizing process is evident in changing attitudes toward bodily functions, hygiene, and manners, where practices once considered normal become sources of disgust in more civilized societies. So, this combination of shame and repugnance in the civilizing process, this interplay between shame and repugnance is critical to Elias's expectation of how social norms and behaviors evolve. As societies develop, the mechanisms of social control become more sophisticated, moving from external enforcement by authorities to internal self-regulation by individuals. The shift is partly driven by changing thresholds of shame and repugnance, which guide individuals in moderating their behaviors to align with social expectations. Norbert Elias's analysis shows that changes in what is considered shameful or repugnant are not arbitrary but are closely linked to broader political, social, or socio-political transformations, including the formation of state monopolies on violence and the increasing interdependence of individuals within complex social networks. These transformations lead to a more regulated social order, where individuals must navigate a more intricate set of social norms. The concepts of shame and repugnance, therefore, are not only central to understanding individual behavior, but also offer insights into the collective processes that shape societies. They are key to Elias's broader theory, which connects the development of personal self-control and social etiquette within the historical and structural changes in societies. This approach provides a comprehensive framework for analyzing the dynamics of social order and the evolution of human behavior over time. More importantly, it also offers a sociological understanding of what Freud may argue as the superego. This is a construction, an historical sociological construction of this control. We'll speak next time.